The rain had just started when Lily heard the knock on the front door. It wasn't loud, more like a hesitant tap, as if the person outside wasn't sure whether they should even be there. She wiped her hands on a towel and opened the door. Standing there, drenched under the porch light, was her sister's old friend, Ryan. He looked older than she remembered. The boyish grin she once knew replaced by quiet eyes that carried something heavy. If you're enjoying this story so far, please like the video and subscribe for more heartfelt tales. Ryan? She said, surprised. It's been years, he gave a small smile. Your sister invited me. Said she'd be here for dinner, Lily frowned. Her sister Emily was always late, but she hadn't mentioned Ryan would be joining them. Still, she stepped aside. Come in before you freeze. Ryan thanked her, brushing rain from his jacket as he entered. The warmth of the house seemed to wrap around him, but his eyes, dark, thoughtful, stayed distant. Lily led him to the dining room, where the table was half set. The soft hum of the old clock filled the silence. She should be here soon, Lily said, trying to sound casual. Ryan nodded but didn't speak. He looked around, his gaze pausing on the family photos along the wall, memories of holidays, birthdays, and quiet summers long gone. Coffee? She offered. He smiled faintly. Sure. As she poured, she noticed his hands trembling slightly when he reached for the cup. Not from cold, something deeper. They sat across from each other, steam rising between them. The conversation started light. Work, old stories, how fast time had gone. But beneath his polite words, Lily sensed something else. Attention. Oh, wait, so how have you really been? She asked softly. Ryan looked up, his eyes flickering with surprise at the question. Then he gave a quiet laugh, the kind that isn't really laughter at all. You always ask that differently than everyone else. Before she could respond, her phone buzzed. A message from Emily. Running late. Don't wait up for me. Something came up. Lily's chest sank. She looked at Ryan, unsure how to explain. She's not coming tonight. He gave a slow nod, but his expression didn't change much. I figured. You did? He looked toward the window where the rain streaked the glass. Emily and I haven't spoken in a long time. I didn't think she'd really show. Lily sat back, her curiosity deepening. Then why come? He took a slow sip of coffee before answering. I guess I wanted to see if home still felt like home. Something in the way he said it made her chest tighten. There was pain there, quiet, buried pain. Dinner went on anyway. Lily reheated the roast, made small talk, tried to keep the evening from falling apart. But as the clock ticked on, she found herself watching him more than listening. Ryan didn't eat much. He'd nod when she spoke but seemed to drift somewhere else, like his body was present, but his mind was lost in another time entirely. After dinner, she offered dessert, but he declined. You used to love Emily's apple pie, she said gently. He smiled faintly. I did. There was silence again. Only the soft sound of rain tapping the windows. Ryan, Lily said quietly. Are you okay? He looked at her, really looked this time. His eyes were tired, but there was something more. Something like guilt. I'm fine, he said, but his voice betrayed him. Lily leaned forward, her voice barely a whisper. You don't seem fine. Ryan's jaw tightened. He took a breath, exhaled slowly, and said, Lily, do you ever feel like you're haunted by something you didn't mean to do? The words hung heavy between them. Before she could answer, a distant thunder rolled through the night, shaking the window panes. She looked at him again. At the man who once laughed easily, who once made her sister smile. And she knew something was deeply wrong. But before she could ask more, Ryan stood. I should go. You can't drive in this weather, she said quickly. Stay until it clears. He hesitated at the doorway. You always were kind, he murmured, and then his voice dropped lower, almost trembling. But kindness won't change what's already done. Lily's breath caught. What do you mean? He didn't answer, just met her gaze for a long, silent moment, and in that silence, she saw it. The truth was in his eyes. Something had happened. Something he couldn't undo, and whatever it was, it involved her sister. The rain hadn't stopped. It poured harder, as if the sky itself didn't want him to leave. Ryan stood by the window, his hand resting on the curtain edge. The soft yellow light from the lamp painted half his face, while the other half was hidden in shadow. Lily watched him quietly, her heart pounding harder than it should have. He hadn't moved in minutes. She finally broke the silence. "You said kindness won't change what's done. What did you mean?" He didn't look at her. "Some things don't wash away no matter how hard you try." Lily stepped closer. "Ryan, did something happen between you and Emily?" That made him turn. His eyes, the same deep brown she remembered from childhood, looked different now. There was no anger in them, only sorrow. "It's not that simple," he said softly. "Then make it simple," Lily whispered. He took a long breath, running a hand through his hair. "You remember when your dad got sick? How Emily used to spend nights at the hospital?" Lily nodded. "Of course. I was in college back then." Ryan's gaze dropped to the floor. "She wasn't always there." Lily frowned. "What are you talking about?" He hesitated, then said quietly, "She came to me sometimes. Late, when things got hard. She didn't want anyone to know." The words hit Lily like cold air. "You mean, she needed someone," Ryan said quickly. She was breaking down. I tried to be there for her." Lily stared at him, unsure how to respond. It wasn't scandal or judgment she felt. It was confusion and a slow, sinking feeling that something still wasn't being said. Ryan looked up, his voice trembling. "The last time I saw her, we argued. I said things I shouldn't have. She walked out, and that was it." He turned back toward the window. "I never heard from her again." Lily swallowed hard. "That was 2 years ago." "I know. Ryan, she's fine now. She moved to Seattle. She's doing well." He shook his head. "Maybe on the outside. But people don't just disappear from your life like that for no reason." Lily wanted to argue, but the look in his eyes stopped her. There was something raw in his expression. Guilt, yes, but something else too. Fear. "Ryan," she said softly, "why did you really come tonight?" He turned toward her again, his voice low. "Because I needed to see if anyone else noticed." "Noticed what?" "That something about her changed." Lily's chest tightened. "You think something's wrong with Emily?" He nodded slowly. "When she called last week, her voice didn't sound like her. It was flat, distant. Like she wasn't really there anymore." Lily tried to remember their last call. Emily had sounded tired, distracted maybe, but not like that. Still, a strange unease crept in. Ryan's tone softened. "Lily, I think she's in trouble, and I think I might be the reason." Before she could reply, a flash of lightning lit the room, followed by a loud crash outside. The lights flickered once, then went dark. Lily gasped. "The power—" "I'll check the fuse box," Ryan said, grabbing the flashlight from the kitchen counter. But before he moved, a faint sound came from the porch. A soft tap, tap, tap. Lily froze. "Did you hear that?" Ryan turned off the flashlight. The sound came again, slow, deliberate knocks against the wooden door. He stepped closer, voice barely above a whisper. "Stay here." Lily's heart thudded in her chest as he opened the door just an inch. No one was there. Only the rain and a single folded piece of paper on the mat. Ryan picked it up, his hand shaking as he unfolded it. The paper was wet, the ink smeared, but a few words were still readable. "You shouldn't have come back." The color drained from his face. "Ryan," Lily whispered, "what is that?" He didn't answer right away. His throat moved as he swallowed hard, then he slowly handed her the note. Lily read it again, her fingers trembling. The handwriting, slanted and neat, looked achingly familiar. "Ryan," she breathed, "this looks like Emily's writing." He looked away. "I know." The room fell into heavy silence, broken only by the storm outside. For the first time that night, Lily realized something she couldn't shake. Her sister wasn't far away, and if this note was real, Emily might not want Ryan alive. Lily's hands shook as she held the paper closer to the lamplight. The words were blurred, but the loops in the handwriting, the way the Y curved, the way the H leaned, it was exactly how Emily used to write her grocery lists. Ryan stood still beside her, his jaw tight, eyes locked on the note. "It doesn't make sense," Lily said softly. "Why would she send this?" He exhaled slowly. "I don't think she meant to warn me off. I think she's scared. Of you? Of something that connects to me." Lily wanted to ask what he meant, but his expression told her he wasn't ready to explain. Not yet. Outside, the thunder eased, replaced by a steady rhythm of rain. The quiet only made the tension heavier. Lily folded the paper and placed it on the table. "Ryan, you should tell me everything. No more half-truths." He hesitated, then sat down. His voice dropped lower. "After that last night with Emily, I left town. I couldn't face her, not after what I said." "What did you say?" He looked down at his hands. "That she blamed everyone else for her pain. That she'd never let go of what happened to your father. She was already fragile then, and I made it worse." Lily's chest tightened. "Ryan, she loved Dad more than anyone." "You know that. I know," he whispered. "That's why it hurt so much to say it." The room felt colder now. Lily crossed her arms, trying to keep herself from shaking. "She called me once," he continued. "A few months after that fight." I didn't answer. I thought it was better for both of us if I stayed away. But lately, I've been getting calls again. From unknown numbers. No one speaks, just breathing. Lily's eyes widened. "You think it's Emily?" "I don't know. But last night, before I came here, I got one again." This time, a voice whispered just 2 words. "Dinner tonight." Lily froze. "That's exactly what she texted me." Ryan nodded, his eyes dark. "That's why I came." Before either of them could say more, a soft thump echoed from the porch. Lily turned sharply. Ryan grabbed the flashlight and moved toward the door, opening it just enough to look outside. The rain had slowed to a mist, but the driveway glistened like glass. Nothing seemed out of place, until he noticed something sitting near the steps, a small wooden box. Lily joined him, clutching her sweater tight. "What is that?" He bent down and picked it up. It was old, its edges worn smooth, its latch slightly rusted. The kind of box people used to keep letters in. There was a faint carving on the lid. The initials E.T. Lily's breath caught. "Emily Turner." Ryan opened it carefully. Inside was a single Polaroid photo. It showed a woman standing near a lakeside cabin. Her head was turned slightly, her hair blowing across her face. But even in the dim photo, Lily knew it was her sister. She looked thinner, pale, and in her eyes was something neither of them recognized. Fear. Behind her, just barely visible, was a shadow of another figure. Ryan turned the photo over. On the back, written faintly in pencil, were the words, "You left me there." Lily's throat tightened. "Ryan, what does this mean?" He rubbed a hand across his face. "The cabin, that's where we used to go when your dad was sick. Emily said it made her feel close to him. After he passed, she went there alone sometimes." "I didn't think she still did," Lily's voice trembled. "Then we have to go there." He looked at her sharply. "No, not tonight. It's 2 hours away, and she could be in danger, Ryan." He didn't answer. His silence said enough. Lily grabbed her coat, ignoring the pounding in her chest. "If you won't go, I will." Ryan stepped in front of her, blocking the doorway. "You can't just run into the dark without knowing what's waiting." "Then tell me," she snapped. "What happened at that cabin? What aren't you saying?" For a long time, Ryan didn't speak. His eyes glistened under the dim light. Finally, he said in a low voice, "Because the night your father died." "I wasn't just there for Emily, I was with him." Lily blinked, confusion flooding her. "With Dad? Why?" Ryan's voice broke. "Because he didn't die the way you were told." The words hit her like a wave. Lily's hands fell to her sides, her voice barely a whisper. "What are you saying, Ryan?" He looked straight at her, his eyes filled with regret. I need to show you something, but not here. And just like that, she knew. Whatever happened that night, whatever truth he was hiding, it started at that cabin. The drive felt endless. The wipers dragged across the windshield, pushing away sheets of rain that refused to stop. The road twisted through dark woods, and the only light came from Ryan's headlights slicing through the fog. Lily sat quietly beside him, her hands folded tight in her lap. The Polaroid photo lay on the dashboard, its edges curling from damp air. Neither of them had spoken much since leaving town. When they finally turned down a narrow dirt path, the air grew still. The lake came into view, black, silent, and mirror-smooth under the storm clouds. Ryan slowed the car and stopped near the edge of the clearing. Ahead stood a small wooden cabin, half hidden by trees. Its windows were dark. Lily stared at it. I haven't been here since Dad passed. Ryan nodded slowly. Me neither. They stepped out, boots sinking into wet earth. The air smelled of pine and rain. Every sound, every creak of branches, felt amplified in the silence. Ryan pointed toward the porch. There's light inside. Lily frowned. How? You said no one's been here for years. He didn't answer. He just started forward. The cabin door creaked open easily. A faint glow flickered from a single candle on the table inside. Next to it was a small photo frame, their father, smiling beside a young Emily. The room was neat, untouched except for a coat hanging near the doorway. Lily recognized it immediately, Emily's. Her breath caught. She's here. Ryan stepped forward cautiously. Or she was. He picked up something from the table, another folded note. This one was dry, sealed with tape. He opened it slowly. The handwriting was the same. Emily's, if you found this, then you know I can't hide anymore. I thought I could forgive him. I tried. But he never told you the truth about that night. Lily looked up sharply. Ryan, what is she talking about? He didn't meet her eyes. His voice was low, trembling. Lily, your dad didn't die from his heart giving out. It was an accident. I was there. She stepped back, shaking her head. No, that's impossible. The doctor said, they said what Emily told them to say. Ryan interrupted softly. Your father slipped while fixing the dock lights that night. I tried to pull him up, but the current was too strong. He hit his head. Lily's voice trembled. Why would Emily lie about that? She blamed me, he whispered. She said I let him die. The silence that followed felt endless. Rain tapped against the windows and the candle flame wavered. So she's been carrying that all this time? Lily finally said. Ryan nodded. I tried to reach her. I wanted to tell her I never stopped trying to save him. But she wouldn't listen. She shut everyone out. Lily looked around the cabin again. The air felt heavy, like the walls themselves held the memory of that night. Ryan, she said quietly, she's not just angry. She's scared. If she left those notes, she's trying to tell us something. He nodded, his eyes scanning the room. Then we need to find it. They began searching. Drawers, shelves, the old chest near the bed. Most of it was dusty, untouched. But inside the chest, beneath a stack of old blankets, Lily found a small voice recorder. Her hands trembled as she pressed the button. A faint click. Then Emily's voice filled the room, shaky, tired, and almost whispering. If anyone finds this, please understand. I didn't mean to hurt him. I just wanted him to know the truth. But I can't live with what I saw. I can't keep pretending he drowned. Lily froze. What does she mean by that? Ryan's face went pale. She's not talking about your father. The recording continued. He came back. The one who was there that night. He said he forgave me, but his eyes, they weren't the same. I don't think it's really him anymore. The recorder clicked off. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Lily's voice was barely audible. Ryan, she's talking about you. He stared at the recorder, his expression unreadable. That's not possible. I haven't seen her since before she moved. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows. Then, from somewhere near the back of the cabin, a floorboard creaked. Lily's heart leapt. Ryan. He turned toward the sound, his flashlight cutting through the darkness. Stay here, but she grabbed his arm. No, not this time. Together they stepped toward the narrow hallway. The air grew colder, thicker. Another creak came, closer now. Ryan reached for the door at the end of the hall and pushed it open. The room was empty, except for a single chair facing the window. On it sat another Polaroid photo. Lily picked it up. Her hand shook as she turned it over. This time, the handwriting said, "You shouldn't have brought her here." Ryan's face went pale, and before either of them could react, a faint voice whispered from somewhere behind them, soft, trembling and unmistakably familiar. "Lily?" Lily froze where she stood. The voice was faint, but it was hers, Emily's. Ryan swung the flashlight toward the sound. Its beam landed on the doorway behind them. A figure stood there soaked to the bone, strands of wet hair clinging to her face. "Emily?" Lily breathed. Her sister didn't move at first. Her eyes were distant, wide and tired like she hadn't slept in days. "Lily," she whispered again. "You shouldn't have come." Lily rushed forward, but Emily stepped back, shaking her head. "No, please. Stay there." Ryan lowered the light, his voice low and cautious. "Emily, we just want to talk." She looked at him then. The softness vanished from her face, replaced by something cold. "You shouldn't be here, Ryan." "Why?" Lily asked, her voice trembling. "What's going on?" Emily's gaze darted to the window. The rain outside had turned to mist, wrapping the cabin in a gray haze. "I didn't want you to see this place again." "Not after what happened." Ryan took a careful step forward. "You left those notes. The photo, why?" She looked at him with tears in her eyes. "Because I thought I saw you again. Near the lake." "Last week," Lily frowned. "That's impossible. He wasn't here." Emily shook her head. "I know what I saw. You were standing by the dock, Ryan. Same jacket, same look. But when I called your name, you just disappeared." Ryan's voice wavered. "Emily, I swear I wasn't here." Her eyes softened, just slightly. "Then who was it?" The silence that followed was heavy. Only the ticking of rain on the roof filled the air. Lily's hands trembled. "Emily, what did you mean on the recorder? About him not being the same?" Emily's eyes glistened as she looked at Ryan again. "Because that night when Dad fell, I thought he was already gone. But I saw him move. Ryan went back into the water, and for a second I thought he pulled him out. But when he came up, Dad wasn't there. And the look in Ryan's eyes. It wasn't him anymore." Lily turned to Ryan, her heart pounding. "What is she saying?" Ryan's voice broke. "I tried to save him. I swear I did. But when I reached him, he wasn't breathing. I didn't want you both to see that, so I—" He stopped. His words caught in his throat. Lily stepped closer. "So you what?" "I let the current take him," Ryan said quietly. "I thought it was merciful. I thought he was already gone." Emily shook her head slowly, tears spilling down her cheeks. "You didn't check, Ryan. You didn't know." Ryan's face twisted in anguish. "I did what I thought was right." For a long, raw moment, no one spoke. The air between them felt electric. Grief and guilt tangled together. Finally, Lily reached out to her sister. "Emily, it's over. He didn't mean to hurt anyone." Emily's voice softened. "I know, I just couldn't forgive him. I thought if I stayed away, I'd forget. But I never did." Ryan stepped forward, his eyes filled with regret. "I never stopped carrying it either." The wind outside howled once more, and the candle flickered out, plunging the cabin into darkness. Lily reached for her sister's hand. "Let's go home. Both of you." For the first time that night, Emily nodded. Her voice was barely a whisper. "I'd like that." As they stepped out into the misty night, the clouds began to break apart, and faint moonlight spilled across the lake. Ryan paused near the edge of the dock. His reflection stared back, pale and hollow. For a moment, it almost looked like another figure stood beside him, watching silently from the water's surface. But when he blinked, it was gone. He turned back to the sisters, forcing a small smile. "Let's leave this place behind," and together, they walked away from the cabin, leaving behind the weight of a secret buried for years. and the echo of voices that would finally fade with the dawn. The rain stopped completely before they reached the car. For the first time in years, Lily felt the quiet kind of peace that comes only after forgiveness, fragile, trembling, but real.